Take control of your career by knowing your strengths and story. Questions that would be answered. How can identifying my strengths help me in my career? What can I do to identify my strengths, and create a story that gives them context? How can I tell my story to potential employers? Connect with me via WhatsApp, +234 703 247 4726, to get more interesting videos. Please, to support our ministry, remember to like the video, and also find it in your heart to subscribe to our YouTube channel and then gently tap the bell to turn on the notification, so as not to miss out on the next videos. As you move through your career, you aren't just along for the ride. In fact, you're in control of much of your journey. Wherever you're at in that journey, whether you're looking for a new role or want to advance in your current one, knowing your strengths and how to talk about them is a big part of how you stay in control. How exactly does it help you stay in control? Let's think about 3 different kinds of jobs you might have, and which one you'd be most likely to do your best work at. No matter what field you're in, when you have a job you enjoy, it's likely that you'll put in more effort, and get less burnt out over time, than if it's just another job. By knowing the strengths, interests, and experiences that have made you who you are, and knowing how to talk about these, it'll be easier to find yourself in the kind of role you'll enjoy. The more you know about yourself, the easier it is to turn your strengths and interests into a story of how your experiences have made you who you are today. This story is part of what makes you an attractive hire, or recipient of a promotion. Being able to tell a story that expresses your skills and experience helps others understand who you are and what you can bring to a job or business. It also puts your positive attributes into context, instead of them just being a list on a resume. To create your story, start by doing some research on yourself. Write down your answers to the following questions. What type of work energizes you? What comes easily for you? When do you feel in the flow at work? That is, when do you feel you are doing quality work at a consistent pace and enjoyably? Then ask yourself, what type of work drains your energy? Are there things you are good at doing but don't enjoy? Why do you think that is? Are you currently in a role that aligns with your strengths? If yes, which strengths are you using? If no, which strengths could be utilized more? Finally, what types of activities do you participate in outside of work? Think passions or hobbies that utilize your strengths. After you've answered these questions, list out all your big wins and accomplishments. For each one, say which strengths you used to achieve them. Reread any feedback you've received from colleagues and managers to help identify your strengths. Is there a pattern in what others recognize and appreciate about you? Then, list 5 qualities that define you in a unique way. For instance, you might say you're reliable, self-motivated, confident, logical, and communicative. Share your list with a close friend, colleague, family member, or anyone you trust to give you their honest opinion. Ask if they agree with the attributes you come up with, and if they have others they think you should consider. Once you've identified your strengths and interests, know how you'll talk about them when interviewing, networking, and speaking with potential employers. This is where your story can help you communicate what makes you a good fit for roles in a way that does you justice without sounding like bragging. Again, there are some questions you can ask yourself to help you prepare your story. What life events have shaped you? What career pivots have you made and why? What are your strengths? What are you passionate about? What are your values, aka, what's important to you in life, and not just in work? A core value might be that you treat coworkers and customers with respect, or that you want all your work to contribute to creating a more sustainable planet. What professional areas do you want to keep growing and developing in, and why? How would that growth fit into your career goals? For instance, you might want to develop leadership skills so you can better lead larger teams. Finally, there are the big questions, which all of the previous questions should be able to help you answer. What makes you who you are? In other words, what makes you stand out or unique? When telling your story, know what common mistakes to avoid. First, avoid being too generic. For instance, "I want to be successful" doesn't say much about you. Instead, think about how to articulate what success means for you, and why that's what you want. As you tell your story, make an effort to express yourself in a way that's humble instead of arrogant, and genuine instead of superficial. Lastly, keep things clear and concise. Avoid going off on tangents, communicating in an overly wordy manner, or using too much jargon. You don't want people to get bored, or confused, while they listen to you tell your story. We've gone over what to put into your story and what to avoid. Now for how to structure your story. Consolidate your strengths, skills, and biggest accomplishments into a short, 30-second pitch about yourself as well as a slightly longer, 1-minute pitch. Keep in mind that you won't be reciting these pitches word for word, but you'll want to be ready to work them into conversations. Practice with other people to keep your pitches conversational, and get feedback on them. Start your pitch by introducing yourself with a high-level overview of your work history, plus a summary of your achievements, and any life or work experiences that make you unique. Then, be prepared to tell your story specifically for the role you'd like. Identify why the role interests you, assess how your skills and experiences align with it, and share why you'd be a good fit and how you'd add value to the role. Consider updating your resume with a professional summary that calls out attributes, and highlights skills that could easily transfer to your desired role. Start with a core statement to define your personal brand using one or two of your personal strengths. For instance, you might say, "I use logic and clear communication with my team to see projects to completion." Add color to your statement using words others have used to describe you. For example, "I am a passionate learning specialist dedicated to supporting the development of others through fun and impactful experiences." Experiment and refine your statement until it's something that you feel adequately summarizes your experience, skills, interests, and values. Do this now. Now that you've seen how knowing your strengths, and being able to put them into context can help you advance in your career, let's do a simple self-evaluation.